Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope your day is going fabulous and wonderful. Today, I wanted to come to y'all today with this live because I had seen a recent post on Facebook. I had seen a recent post on Facebook, and it was a post that was talking about marriage and love. This post it came from an excerpt from Dr. Miles Monroe. Now, I know many people in the Christian world are familiar with Dr. Miles Monroe, but I'm just going to give just a brief synopsis of him. He was a Christian preacher, um, and he passed away as well too. So rest in peace, Dr. Miles Monroe. But however, um, he had an interesting quote that popped up on my Facebook, and so I want to share with y'all what this quote said, and it's going to be the topic of my discussion today. All right, the quote says this: "Marriage does not need love. A successful marriage has little to do with love. Love is not the qualifications for marriage. Love is a dangerous thing. Love can make you think you can make it. Every divorced person was first in love with the person they divorced. So don't tell me love keeps you together. Love does not guarantee success in marriage. Love brings happiness, but doesn't bring what it takes to make marriage work. The only thing that makes marriage work is knowledge. You feel like you love someone, but you better get knowledge on how to live with them. And we are such a feeling culture that our insanity take us to the altar, making commitments we know we can't keep. Marriage is not protected by love. Marriage is protected by knowledge. And this was from an excerpt from Dr. Miles Monroe. Now, today, I want to talk to y'all about this. Today, I want to talk to y'all about what love has to do with it. But first, before I jump into this one, I want to go ahead and acknowledge that my boy Mad Militant he's in the house right now. Appreciate you, bro. And he's talking about every time I Anne Marie saying the damn song like how I told you to, based on the what's love have to do with the movie. But I appreciate you, bro, for tuning in. I appreciate it a whole lot. Now let's dive into this, okay? My perspective about what Dr. Miles Monroe is saying is this: I totally, 100%, absolutely disagree with what he's saying in this situation. The reason why is because I'm a firm believer that love is the whole nucleus of the marriage. Love is the whole nuclear for the relationship to work. Now, if Dr. Miles Monroe, if he was talking about from the concept of people just solely just in the feeling of love, then yeah, I could agree with him on that. If he's just talking about solely the feeling of love, you having that feeling of love, of course, the feeling of love comes and goes depending on the situation, which I will agree to that. That's part of the human emotion. But according to what I just read to you right now, it doesn't say the feeling of love. It's saying love, period. And this is where I would have to disagree with him about this. Like I stated, love is the nucleus of the relationship. Love is the nucleus of marriage. Furthermore, love is considered the salt or that seasoning to make everything work. Without love, it doesn't matter how much financial gain you gain. It doesn't matter your success in society, it don't matter none of that. If you don't have love, the salt of it, the season of love, then none of that's gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. It is not gonna matter. And what's interesting about this is that Dr. Just like I stated earlier, Dr. Miles Monroe, he is a Christian preacher. Well, he was a Christian preacher. And for him to say this is remarkable. In the Christian doctrine that he believed in the New Testament, it speaks solely on love in the New Testament. I'm reminded in the book 1 Corinthians chapter 13 when it spoke solely about love. It basically said that you can have all these things, but without love, you are nothing. So you can have all these things. You could do all these things. You could do all these certain activities and these things to make you feel good or look good or whatever, however way you look at it. But if you don't have love in the mix of it, then you are nothing. So it don't even matter. So it don't even matter at all. Hey, what's up, money boy? But it doesn't matter at all. Like I stated, love is the nucleus of the whole entire thing. A matter of fact, love is what brings balance to everything that a human person experience in their human life. Now, once again, if we're just talking about the emotions of love, then yeah, you cannot live your life solely based on just the emotion of love. Because what's going to happen is that you base your life on solely on emotional love or the feeling of love. What's going to end up happening is that you're going to end up facing disappointment. You're going to end up facing heartache. You're going to end up facing betrayal and all these other type of emotions that's involved with that. And when you face these things, how will you be able to handle it if you are solely basing yourself on the emotional love and that's it? How will you be able to handle it? So the whole entire human experience is balance. You love, you hate, you cry, you laugh, you die. That's the whole entire human experience. That's the whole entire human experience. But we are living in a modern day society where it appears that more and more and more we have different people coming up and saying, well, you don't need love to do this, or you don't need love to do that. Case in point, with the one Reddit that Kevin Samuel preaches, he says that all the time. You don't need love. Why you need love? Yes, you do need love. Love is a part of it. Like, say, for example, my boy Matt, he's on here right now. My boy Matt, he says that he's excellent in barbecuing. He got the skills to pay the bills, the grill. But imagine him barbecuing without putting his seasoning on it. Imagine him doing that. Just barbecue the meat without doing all the extra stuff to make the meat be as perfect as he can get it. Imagine that. And then he present that meat to his family. You want to know what his family going to say or his friends going to say? They're going to say, man, what in the hell did you do to this meat? This meat is disgusting. This meat is disgusting. Why you didn't season this meat properly? Then his response, oh, well, we don't need it. Well, I don't need the seasoning. All you need to do is taste the meat so you can be nourished. Y'all heard how ridiculous that sounds? And this is the same concept when I hear people talking about modern day people talking about love. Oh, we don't need love. All we need to do is get along so we can get financial gain and pay the bills and whatever. Y'all heard how ridiculous that sounds? Everything is balanced, including love. Now, with the analogy with the seasoning, if you give too much of love, it can be bad. If you give too little of love, it can be bad. Same way with the seasoning. If you give too much seasoning, it can be bad. Give too little of it, it can be bad. So it has to be a balance. It has to be a balance. And that's where love comes into play. Now, once again, as I stated earlier, it amazed me that Dr. Miles Monroe, a preacher, a former Christian preacher, who said this, when his whole belief, his whole doctrine is based on love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 talks about love. 1 John, the whole entire letter talks about love. And preach adamantly that without love, things will fail. But however, when you have love, love never fails, which that is true. Now, the emotional love goes up and down depending on the individual and depending on your experience and depending on what you're dealing with. But the whole core of love, it never fails. You know, when I hear people tell me things like this and I read it on these social media platforms, the number one thing that comes into my mind is fear. Fear. People fear truly being in love. And I'm not just talking about just the emotional part. I'm talking about the whole part of it, all of it. Some people fear being in love. In all honesty, I can understand why. Because you don't never know what that person is going to do to you. You don't know if that person is going to betray you. You don't know if that person is going to cheat on you. You don't know if that person is going to do harm to you either physically, mentally, or spiritually. You don't know. So I get it. I get it that you can get into that area of firm love. I get it. I understand that. I get it. I've been through that process where at one point in time I was fearing love, fearing of the possibilities of disappointment or resentment. I feared that. But however, one thing that I have learned through my living is that there's no fear in love. Especially if any one of you out there, especially if you say you believe in a God or a most high God or a creator or even believing in yourself. There's no fear in love. You want to know why there's no fear in love? Because when you truly walking in your purpose and you truly walking in the true pureness of love, you have nothing to fear because you understand the whole concept about love. You understand it and you embrace it. You embrace all of it. You embrace the goodness of love. You embrace the fellowship of love. You embrace the disappointment of love. You embrace it all because you understand at the end of the day that all of this is part of the human experience. All of it. Love, hate, fear, jealousy, envy, strife, all these different things. That's part of the human experience. But however, even though it's part of the human experience, you still have a choice. You still can choose to walk in love. You can choose to learn from different things that you have experienced through your life. You can learn to cope through certain behaviors that either you don't face or people around you are facing. You have that choice. You have that choice. So today, I just want to encourage y'all that there's no fear in love. Don't fear it. There's no fear in love. And I want to encourage y'all to don't be persuaded by people who are already being hurt. And then they're sharing their hurt and pain towards you or projecting it towards you so you could follow in the behavior that they're doing. All because they have been hurt. I want to encourage y'all to use love as a gift. Where you helping out people who are part of your immediate circle and some people who's outside your circle as well. I want to encourage y'all to do that. Because as y'all see right now, we're living in the time where, to be honest with y'all, we really, really need each other. We really do. But there's so many forces out there that's causing us to be divided. That's taking us out of our purpose. We got jealousy and we got racism and all these other things, political gains, all these other things that are out there. And then everybody responding instead of out of love, instead of growing stronger within yourself and one another, we responding out of fear. I want to encourage y'all to break out of that. Break out of that stronghold of fear and walk in your purpose. Walk in love confidently, knowing that love is one of the greatest gifts that you can have. Love is one of the greatest privileges that mankind can have for one another. Period. So I want to encourage y'all today to look past all the hurt and you be the living example. You be the light that person is looking for so they can heal and they can walk in their purpose boldly and proudly. Y'all continue to fight fate with